Friendo, Steve here. Welcome back to the channel. So yesterday, WWE live from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia had the Elimination Chamber. Real quick, before we get started, because I don't think I've talked about it here at WrestleJuice all that much. I understand there's plenty of controversy, rightfully so, over the deal between the WWE and the Saudi Arabia government, given their sketchy, that is an understatement, track record on human rights. The bottom line is these shows happen and big things happen on these shows. We actually raised a bunch of money for an awesome cancer charity research fund thing called Stand Up to Cancer yesterday going in Raw. So we try to turn a bad thing into a good thing over there. But, just because I know people in the comments can be like, oh, blood money, this, that, and the other. I get it. I know. I'm with you guys. I understand. But shit happens at Elimination Chamber at these Saudi Arabia shows. So we're just going to roll with it. All right. So what I think about the show was a standard WWE show. I thought it was entertaining at parts. I thought the Elimination Chamber, the men's Elimination Chamber match, the end when Brock just went on a rampage, I thought that was really cool. I mean, either these days you either really like what they're doing with Brock Lesnar or you don't like what they're doing with Brock Lesnar. There's kind of no real middle ground there. I personally think him coming out of that pod and being an absolute wrecking machine was pretty cool. I liked the end sequence with him and Austin Theory when Austin Theory gave him the low blow and then ran up. He was running away from Brock Lesnar. He tries to escape and Brock Lesnar F5s him off the pod. I thought that was an awesome spot and I'm glad they gave that spot to Austin Theory. I think that they're really going to try to build up Austin Theory for the future. You might see him main event WrestleMania in, 2 or 3 years or so. I think he is really terrific. So, yeah, I thought that there was good stuff on the show. There was some not so great stuff on the show. We're going to dive into it all. But all in all, it was just another WWE show. We all know what we're going to get with this stuff. It's sports entertainment to the max, right? And either you're into that and you find the entertainment value in it or you don't. This show I thought there was plenty to enjoy about Elimination Chamber. If you're just over WWE stuff, though, in general, I get it. But all in all, in terms of it being a WWE show, I thought it was fine. I thought it was decent. Let's go ahead and break it down. First up, in the pre-show, we had Rey Mysterio versus The Miz. I didn't actually watch this match, but I saw what happened. Dom apparently got ejected from the match, and then Rey Mysterio ended up beating The Miz. And so Miz now apparently wants some sort of tag team partner, a real Hollywood type, to take on Rey Mysterio and Dominic. Of course, everybody was thinking when he mentioned this, oh, it's going to be Cody Rhodes. Evidently, that's not going to be the case. I'm not going to spoil it here at WrestleJuice, but that info apparently is out there. PW Insider apparently had the lowdown on who it is. Apparently, it's not Cody. So when Cody does show up in WWE, apparently it's going to be not as the Miz's tag team partner, which, let's face it, would have been a bit underwhelming. To kick off the show, we had Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. Goldberg trying to beat that early bird buffet the next morning. So they got this match out of the way. And I said in my sort of preview predictions video here at WrestleJuice that this should be a squash match. It wasn't exactly that. But at no point did Goldberg ever feel like, I never got the impression Goldberg was going to be any sort of threat to Roman Reigns. Call that what you will. Roman ended up making Goldberg pass out via submission to beat Goldberg. And at this point, apparently that's Goldberg's last contracted match in WWE. It wouldn't shock me to see him at WrestleMania in some sort of match. Maybe, hopefully, they give Big E Goldberg's retirement match. If you're not going to give Big E anything else, if you're not going to give him a good WWE title reign, let him retire Goldberg officially. I think that'd be great. Unless, of course, they're going to bring Stone Cold Steve Austin back, then he can have Stone Cold retire Goldberg. How awesome would that be? I know people are like, no, I don't want to see that. After that, we had the Women's Elimination Chamber match. Bianca Belair won that. Towards the final show, I've been saying for months and months and months that Bianca is going to be the one to beat Becky at WrestleMania this year, ever since SummerSlam. I wasn't surprised. So I wasn't surprised at this, but towards the last couple episodes of Raw, I started to have some doubts in my head. Oh, Alexa's coming back. They gave Rhea that big gauntlet sort of run. Maybe they're going to go in a different direction to build Becky up even more so that at SummerSlam in the 1-year anniversary of Bianca losing to Becky, that's where it would happen. But I think they want to give Bianca signature WrestleMania wins to build her up as much as possible. Last year, of course, it was Sasha Banks. She had already beaten Bayley. This year, it's going to be Becky. Next year, it wouldn't surprise me if it was Charlotte, maybe Bayley for the actual WrestleMania moment. I don't know. But Bianca Belair, she had the advantage here, came out last and beat everybody. As a side note, of course, in Saudi Arabia, the women have to be clothed from neck to toe. And I thought they did a terrific job with everybody's sort of altered outfits here. In fact, I'd advocate for keeping a couple of them. Nikki ASH's superhero outfit actually looked like a proper superhero. She looked awesome. Rhea Ripley looked like a character out of the Hellraiser movies. I thought it was pretty cool. But, you know, they immediately, when they go back home, they usually don't keep that stuff. Next up, we had Naomi and Ronda Rousey with one arm tied behind her back. She was wearing like her judo gi, I think. and they were taking on Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville. Of course, the challenge for Ronda Rousey was, can you beat Sonya Deville with one arm tied behind your back? Can you make her tap out with one arm? Sure enough, she did. Charlotte didn't seem to care about losing this match too much because what does she care? It's not like it really means all that much to her. Ronda didn't tap her out, but this is a good stop on the road to WrestleMania between these two. Should be a cool match. I fully expect Ronda Rousey to win that WrestleMania match against Charlotte, get that SmackDown Women's title. After that, we had Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss. As expected, Drew McIntyre won here, but it wasn't without a very, very scary spot where Drew McIntyre gave Madcap Moss a reverse Alabama slam. Madcap Moss, instead of sort of keeping his chin up and just taking it with like his hands in his chest, muscle memory may be kicked in for this wrestler because they tuck their chins a lot. You got to tuck your chin a lot in wrestling, from what I understand. And he tucked his chin, ended up driving his head right into the mat. Looked really ugly. He finished the match. This dude's in phenomenal shape. I actually really like Madcap Moss. I'll put it this way. I really like Riddick Moss, the character Madcap Moss. Little stupid. I'm not huge on what they're doing with him and Corbin. They don't do much for me. But I really like Riddick Moss. Glad to see that seemingly he's okay. Hopefully it stays that way and they get him checked thoroughly, because that was a scary looking spot. Everybody on the Twitter, on the social media was freaking out over it. Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful did seem to indicate that he was okay afterwards, but they're going to put him through a full battery of tests. Get him home and get him checked out, because I hope Riddick Moss has a long future in the WWE. Next up, Becky Lynch beat Lita. This was expected, but this was just a really, really good match. Let's see. According to Wikipedia, this match went all of 12 minutes. This was one of the longer matches on the card, and it proved to me exactly what I really hope and I wish. Let's get Lita a longer run here in WWE. Let's get her on an Edge schedule, maybe. Or, hey, you know what? If WWE doesn't want her, have her team up with Team Extreme over in AEW. How cool would that be? She can still wrestle. She can still go. This match was awesome. They gave her, even after she lost, Becky left, and they gave Lita a big standing ovation. They hit her music, and she was able to say goodbye to people. I hope to see her at WrestleMania as well. How about a match between Lita and like Sasha Banks or something like that? I don't know. Or maybe give Lita a win against some, like a Sonya Deville or something like that. I don't know. I'm just sort of throwing ideas out here. After that, we had what was supposed to be the Usos versus the Viking Raiders in what was going to be like the lock of the night. We all figured the Usos going to win this. In fact, it was a no contest, because before the bell even rang, the Usos came out, attacked the Viking Raiders. There was no match. Why would they advertise it? It's not going to happen. I don't know why they would do that. They could have made this like a 5-minute match. Maybe they'll have a barn burner on SmackDown. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. Then we had the men's Elimination Chamber match. Brock Lesnar, of course, was the favorite to win this. He was going to come out last. But like early on in the match, I think it was Seth Rollins powerbombed, I want to say Austin Theory, through the pod, and he sort of fell onto Bobby Lashley. It was Bobby Lashley's pod. And then they did like an angle, because this is all like part of story. The producers come out, they check him for a concussion, and they carry him out. Well, apparently, he is, according to reports, he has actually sustained, I think, a shoulder injury, if I'm not mistaken. That's legitimate, not because of Elimination Chamber. Prior to this, he needs surgery. He's going to be out like 4 months. So they just sort of rode him out of Elimination Chamber. so that apparently he doesn't take anything on his shoulder, and maybe to keep him looking stronger for his return. He doesn't get pinned by anybody. He doesn't get beat by anybody. So when he comes back, spoiler alert, by the way, Roman's going to have both those titles by that time. He'll be a strong competitor for that WWE title against Roman Reigns. Another spoiler alert, he'll just lose to Roman Reigns. But yeah, instead of him coming out of his pod when it was his time because he wasn't in the pod, Brock Lesnar decided, I just want to show up now. So he busted through his pod and destroyed everybody. Austin Theory gives him a low blow. Brock Lesnar chases him all around the chamber. Austin Theory tries to climb up through the top of the chamber. Brock Lesnar, like a great horror movie villain, grabs his leg, brings him back down to the top of the pod, starts smashing his face into the glass, and then gives him an F5 from the top of the pod. It was a hell of a moment. I was thoroughly entertained by the finish of that Elimination Chamber. Look, man, if you were surprised at Brock Lesnar, or if you're upset that Brock Lesnar won the WWE title, that's what I was saying was going to happen all along. Because when Brock Lesnar, like a month ago, said, hey, Roman, or at Survivor Series when he won it, hey, Roman, guess what? I am going to make this title versus title at WrestleMania. And Roman was like, no, we sort of knew. Come on. We knew this was going to happen. Brock was going to get this title back. And he did it in dominating fashion. They wanted this big monster beast for Roman Reigns to beat at WrestleMania. And they built this up really well. I know what you're thinking. It's Roman versus Brock. We've had this a million times, but they're kind of different characters now. They're different forces now. And this actually, I'm really into. You get the Heyman stuff in there. Brock is talking a lot. He's mean farmer cowboy guy, but he's also happy. He was posing with fans, doing the selfies, jacked. Man, it was a lot of fun. I liked it. If you don't like it, I get it, but I liked it. I think a bunch of people went on Cage Match and gave this match like a bunch of like thumbs down or 0 stars or whatever, but that's what it is. It's WWE. What are you gonna do? Anyways, hey, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do me a huge favor. Hit that thumbs up and then hit that subscribe button. I would very much appreciate it. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. No dog on the couch today. I lit the room up a little bit more. No dog on the couch. But Bama left like a little Halloween bucket there with like some crafts in it or something. So now I've just been staring at you guys. I'm sure you've noticed it. It's having a kid, man. Go check out this other video. We'll see you there.